Hey, what's going on, man?
What's good, bro?
Nothing much. What's going on, everybody around the world? It's Hoyzee F, and I'm with my boy Isaiah.
What's good?
We're just starting off our podcast here, and it's our first episode, so we're going to be just talking a little bit about ourselves and what we're going to be talking about on this podcast. So, Isaiah, you want to kick it off, man?
All right, what's good? My name's Isaiah Terrian Smith. So, I grew up in Toronto, and I met Hoyzee through Instagram. Actually, that's how we met. I kind of just started up a clothing brand and kind of DM'd him one day, and it's been smooth sailing ever since.
Yeah, it's been lit.
For real, man.
Yeah, my name's Hoyzee, and I met Isaiah. I grew up in a small town called Aberfoyle, Ontario, just outside of Guelph. Grew up in Guelph all throughout high school until after high school I moved to the city of Toronto. Lived there for about 4 years, all over the city until moving out west to Vancouver Island in British Columbia. And that's when I started my venture on Instagram as well, and when I linked up with Isaiah.
For real, man. What's that place called you grew up at?
Aberfoyle, It's like a small-ass town of 500 people. Like, we had a elementary school there and like a really nice restaurant. And Nestle Waters, the headquarters. Canadian headquarters of Nestle Waters. That's pretty much it. A couple trucking companies, yo.
For real, I never even heard of that, man.
Not many people have, dude. When you're coming off of 401, it's just like fucking exit at Guelph, and you just drive through. It's just a set of lights, 2 Tim Hortons. Next thing you know, you're in Guelph, man.
Just a quick pit stop, eh?
Yeah, legit, man. A little blink of the eyes and you miss it.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, it's good.
So what kind of shit are we going to talk about in this podcast?
Well, I think one of the main things we got to talk about is fashion, considering you run your own line. And my page is definitely based around fashion. How we connected was off. I basically shared one of his posts, like in our early stages, where both our Instagram lives and brand lives were very, very, very young, and it took off. Like, it was my best post, and from there, I just started like targeting other brands that really are up and coming, because like we're seeing that all over Instagram today with what's going on with Shopify and all these different like create your own t-shirts and drop shipping companies. That there's some really popping brands coming out there. It's like it's really saturated market, and it's hard to really decipher like which ones are good, you know?
Yeah, it's all love though, man. Like you said, like you sharing our content at the beginning meant a lot. It was huge for us. I mean, because we just got off the ground, right?
Yeah, man. And
so kind of like, yo, if someone's coming to our page and showing us love, and we just started.
Yeah, man. And like it's because like with the logo and everything Class 6 is all about, from my understanding, is like it's a cool thing. You know what I mean? And I feel like there's a lot of that shit going on the internet right now, especially on Instagram. Like a lot of really cool shit, because people are so free and able to do that. You know what I mean? Like it's so accessible to do that, but I think finding marketing it for it and selling it is really tough.
Yeah, it is the most challenging part for sure.
Yeah, yo.
I mean, like you said, it's all about connecting, right? So as long as you can build some sort of connection between your brand and someone else, I think like it helps you take off.
Yeah, totally, yo. And that's what it's funny, like when we talk about social media, like that's what its goal was when I guess like Zuckerberg came up with Facebook, right? Like the idea was to help people connect with one another. And consequently, it's almost disconnected people from each other with our generation constantly on their phones. Like, I mean, you go out for dinner, even you and I go out for dinner, we're both like on our phones, and there's like some quiet going on for a few minutes, right?
Yeah. Can't even help it, man. It's just how it is.
Yeah, totally. But I think what we've done and what we are doing with other brands and other people is connecting, is what it was meant to do, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like I've been talking since I met you. Like I met another girl when I was back home in Toronto. We went out for cheesecake, you know, Minimalist D. Like that was dope. We just met through Instagram and we just started talking, chopping it up. And like the other day I was FaceTime with a guy in Paris and another guy back home in Hamilton. And like multiple connections, even the Elijah there that we met with the Gucci shoes, like that's what it's about, you know. That's what it's supposed to be, and it kind of goes back to what you're talking about, like selling. Like you got to connect with people.
Yeah, so I mean, I try to like get people to come and meet up and just like let's have a conversation, and I'll get to know you, you get to know me, and then we move forward.
Yeah, yo.
It's not you got to be selfish and act in self-interest, but it's like everybody has something to offer somebody else, and it's like if you guys work together, things just get that much easier.
Yeah, totally, man. And I think like you and I account probably shares more followers than any other account I have because we work together so well and promoted each other so much, and people just like it's such a vast community on Instagram, especially with so many people out there that like it's easy. It's not easy, it's a grind, but like I mean there's the ability to connect with such a large audience. Yeah. But I find also too, especially with Instagram, like there's a lot of like ego, like how hard is it to press the like button?
Yeah, for
right.
real.
And it's like people
2
like
seconds.
Yeah, but it's like I look at my insights, like I was saying before, and like there's 1,500 people have seen my post, like 400 of them like it. So I mean, it's got to be a decent post, but like I swear, it's like people are just like so fussy and stuff with what they like, and commenting too has been a really difficult thing to get people to.
Comments are challenging, man.
Like even like I remember in the early days, like just getting people to comment like 2 users. I think a lot of that comes with like fear, right? Like, people are afraid of what other people are going to think, and I don't know. I guess that's what social media is like kind of done, in a sense.
It's because you kind of like you're more exposed. You know what I mean? Like you can see every move you make.
Yeah.
And it's like if I comment on something, my comment's gonna show up at the bottom, so you see that I commented on it. And it's like
right.
You gotta think about it. You gotta think twice about it. And it's like because one of the books I read, right? It was like when you're providing something to someone, you have to provide sort of a sense of like social value and social currency.
Right.
So it's like if your brand doesn't offer that to people, then they're not going to feel motivated to go and take part in it.
Yeah.
And it's like Supreme versus like a low rand brand that we don't know. It's like you're going to be better off being seen liking something like Supreme than the lower end brand because it makes you look better.
Yeah, man. What kind of?
Like
what sort of?
A lot of people don't think about it like when they're liking stuff, but it's like it comes up subconsciously, and like when you make those types of decisions, it's just natural, right?
Yeah, definitely makes it hard to forge into a community. I know for myself, I just took over a small clothing company's Instagram. Well, I just started it from scratch, like 0 followers, and I'm like, man, it is a grind. Like like it's crazy how psychology works. Like when people see that a lot of other people engage with something, that they want to engage with it too as well.
Yeah, exactly.
You were saying something about offering social value with a brand. What kind of social value do you find? What does that mean? Like, what kind of stuff would you like to offer, or like what does Class 6 offer?
Like I'm trying to create the brand so that it's kind of like, because like my background, where like how I grew up was like I was taught to like work hard to get what I want in life, right? So I'm essentially trying to find people who do the same thing and aspire to work hard to achieve their goals, and then have them sort of like tag along sort of and be like, yo, like this is your brand too. It's not just my brand. Like I kind of want to incorporate people into like the classics experience.
Absolutely, man. I definitely find that too. With as far as what I've done with my page is making people feel a part of. Like I remember back when I started like saying like fam, like it's like if one of us makes it, we all make it. People like I know from myself growing up, like I always felt like I was different or I didn't fit in or you know what I mean? Like I wasn't good enough, and social media can totally bring that, can totally make you feel that way because like when you look, like there's always gonna be someone with a way bigger account with way more followers, way more likes, and like I just feel like being a part of something, being a part of a movement, which is Class 6, which is the Hoyzee F page, like that. I think people want to join into that, and like you said, like this isn't my thing. I know that I'm in an engagement group, right? Like we're in an engagement group together, and I know that the admin, he's a super good guy, and he created this group, and it's got a ton of people in it. But I don't like that. I don't like when he pushes like creator in a post kind of thing, or like this is my group and like working hard. I'm just like I feel like that draws people away from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
People don't want to be second best or feel like they're strung along, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. We're all a part of the same narrative.
Yeah, man, totally. And
that's what I mean. Like at the end of the day, we're all the same type of people. Like we all have natural things that we do naturally, and it's like they don't differ among anybody else. Our personalities are just different because of like circumstances that happened in the past, right? So
Yeah, absolutely.
it takes a lot of like humbling yourself and bringing yourself down to a level to realize that like we're together in this. There's no reason to like compete too much. Like obviously like we have our own goals that we want to achieve, but like you keep saying, like when one of us wins, we all win.
Yeah, totally. And that's what's pretty cool about like this connection with social media, right? Like if one of them makes it, we all make it because we're all coming up together.
Yeah, man.
And what you were saying too about, we should wrap it up here pretty soon, but what you were saying too about, fuck, I forget. I don't know, man. But you know what? This has been pretty cool. I think we should wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm down with that. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to discuss or come up with some ideas as to how we're going to go about this, but I think the gist of it is pretty much just talking about current issues and things we like and find interesting and just go from there.
Absolutely, dude. It's been a slice.
Yeah, man.
All right, later.
Later, bro.